Hey everybody, and welcome back to another awesome day in crypto. Yeah, boy. So it's going to be a lot of fun too. And let's get into it, I think. So, excuse me, I have a little frog in the throat there. Hey, get into the chat there, say hello as usual. We've got quite a few in the house already. Hey, good to see you, Brian. And a big shout out to everybody over on Rumble. Great to see everybody there. And don't forget to hit this follow button also. And of course, we've been streaming there for since Saturday, haven't we? Saturday last week, I think it was. So coming up must be about 9 days now or something. Big shout out there. We got Hedgehog in the house as well, getting pretty excited. We got Hexcavator. Hey gang, good to see you, Hexcavator. Welcome to the chat. And we got good old Ben Middle there. Hi, Superman. New colors and theme look great. I appreciate that. And no, it feels good too. Feels good too to be on the Kryptonite show. Your host, Superman, in the house. Now, we've got a bit of a fun here. We're going to be talking about the stock market has rallied big time, actually. It was a really good move. And also, the crypto market has had a nice little bump, particularly Ethereum getting back over 2,000. So it's kind of cool. And we're also going to talk about the MakerDAO. And of course, that's the scenarios that are out there. So we're going to talk about that and some of my thoughts on that one. And so hopefully that's going to be insightful. And also the EMIT NFTs for upcoming farms. Obviously, that's the next big farm coming to Pulse Chain with Kairos there, the founder there in the Telegram. So definitely get involved with that as well. In fact, I just need to let me just get something here while I think about that. So yeah, very, very excited to do that. So let me just pull this up here. It's got to pull something up here with the link here to EMIT. So let's do that live. Let's do it live. Do it live. Whatever that is. So let me just copy that. I'm going to put that in the chat. Bam. Let's go. And we're doing it live. We're doing it live. All right. So this is EMIT Farm, and I'll leave that in the chat for a while. In fact, I might pin that to the chat. I'm not sure if I can, but we'll see how we go. Maybe Brian can pin that to the chat there at the top of the chat. That is the EMIT Farm. We're going to talk about that later on. But you can join up today. Get some. If you're engaged in there, you'll get some points. And if you get the NFTs as well, you get some sort of multipliers there as well. Yeah, so we'll talk about that later on coming up. Get into Telegram, become part of the community there. Looking forward to that solid team there, right? Solid team. All right, so let's get into it. We got a few others in chat, have we? We got Crypto League in the house there. Hello from Florida. A big shout out to you in Florida. The great state of Florida. Yeah, that is a great state there. And it seems to be operating very well under the leadership. Just shows you what can happen. We got Craig Pitt in the house as well. Good morning, Craig. Welcome to you also. Great to see you in the house. Let's get this bull market running. Well, talking about bull market, I've got lots of bullish stuff in today's live stream. Lots of bullish stuff. And you guys are going to enjoy the show for sure. I can't pin it, says Brian. No, you can't pin it. Let me give it a go. I thought Brian might have the power of the dark side. No, the power to do that. But let's see what happens here. Let me pull that up. All right. So I don't think I can do it on every channel. I have to go through every channel individually, but I will try and do it at least on at least on one channel. So let's see here. We're going to pin that. Pin message. All right. I'm surprised you don't have pin message abilities, actually. So that's on that one. Might have to switch over to another channel and try and do it over there too. I don't think I can do it on some channels, so we'll have to see how we go. It's not quite how we thought we'd run, but I'm going to post that now just so I don't forget. That. So let's pin that. Bam. All right, that's kind of cool. All right, so that's all done. I think I did it. So I in Rumble I can and did. Oh, thanks so much for that, Brian. Appreciate that. Big shout out. All right, so let's get on with the show. And without further ado, let's have a look at the stock markets. They had great results, really great results. In fact, we have the S&P 500 rallies on hopes of softer tariffs. And I said to you not to worry about too much tariffs today. And of course, if you haven't checked out my video, Trump's Master Plan, you should check that out on YouTube and on Rumble. And that's pretty cool. We got Dow Jones there up 1.4% at 600 points to 42,583. That's amazing, right? That's the top 30 industrials in the United States. And we're seeing very bullish news coming out of President Trump today with a big deal on Hyundai building a big plant there in America. And I'll post that video later on after the show. We got the S&P 500 up 1.75 points, up 100%, up 100 points to 5,767, and the Nasdaq up a very solid 2.27%, 400 points to 18,188. So really good, strong day there in stock market. So very excited. Now remember, Liberation Day, as they're calling it, the 2nd of April is when the reciprocal tariffs come in. So we're going to talk about that. Now the US dollar up there 0.25% as well, up to 104 almost 104 on the index versus the trading partners. So stronger US dollar, not as strong as it was a month or so ago when Trump had it. The Trump effect was in before the tariffs, I guess, around 108. It was 108, so it was a lot bigger. West Texas oil there, it's pretty flat, $69.20. Brent oil at $72.42. Now, what we'll see with that, with Trump, energy strategy, is that will slowly come down. Now, what will it be? I'm not quite sure. People can do cost price models, but it's definitely probably going to be a lot lower, and therefore, the price at the pump will be a lot lower too. We've got gold at the moment, $3,044, pretty much staying around that mark after it passed 3,000. But top of the mark might be 3.5K this year for gold, and silver there, $33.46, which may actually even rally higher at some stage, maybe targeting 75 possibly. So it could have its own runaway. We'll see. So we did see some cool stuff, of course, in the markets. So we got worries over Trump's administration tariffs have battled Wall Street in recent weeks. Well, we know about that, especially crypto too. With the major indices slumping to 6-month lows earlier this month, as markets feared that the tariffs will increase inflation, disrupt global trade, and dent economic growth. And of course, you have all the liberal economists jump on all that, right? They've been wrong for decades, so how it goes. We've got US reciprocal duties to be limited. However, reports from Bloomberg and Wall Street emerged over the weekend indicating the US President Donald Trump will likely not impose sectorial tariffs next week, and that his plans for reciprocal tariffs will be limited to about 15 countries. That would make a lot of sense. Trump has repeatedly touted April 2nd as Liberation Day. Liberation Day. I like that for the US. In fact, I was just watching the cabinet today, so the Trump cabinet was on. I'm going to post that video later on as well. And they talked about Liberation Day and that, which was pretty fun. And of course, while the tariffs against major US trading partners are still expected to weigh on the economy, and that will happen, their lessened scope offered investors some hope that the impacts will be minimal. And of course, Trump there putting up trade barriers on particular sectors, aluminum, steel, for example, so that they can reproduce the production. That's going to be necessary for security. It's going to be necessary for manufacture. Remember, they're going to be building in the United States. People have no idea the scale of this. It's going to be massive. And of course, it's going to be from shipbuilding to building buildings to plants and manufacturing. It's going to be huge. It's going to be huge. Targeted is obviously better than the alternative, but the trade exchanges being envisioned are still substantial, and is likely they will have negative effects on the economy and corporate profits, at least in the near term and medium term. Now, I would disagree with the total outcome, because we're going to have a pretty bullish mark there. I think Trump's economists are pretty much doing a very fine line there, so I think it's going to be pretty neat there. Short term, definitely possible, but I think longer term, looking very, very incredible, kind of mind-blowingly good. They also said the Fed Reserve officials are going to be speaking this week, so we'll get a few clues from them about where they're heading. We're currently on track for 2 cuts this year, right? So that's kind of where we are. We had 1 percentage point last year. We're sitting at 4.5% of federal funds rate. We're also going to get the Purchasing Managers Index for March. That's going to come up this week as well, and a revised reading on fourth quarter GDP. That's the national income. And of course, we're going to get some personal consumption price index as well. This is going to be very important. So this personal consumption expenditure price index coming up for the Federal Reserve, that's their main indicator. And so that has a broader measure of inflation. So we'll see what that comes up. That's all coming up this week. That could move markets. So we've got that is the one there. Could be pretty interesting. Yeah, that's kind of where we are at the moment. So kind of cool. That is the stock market. So good day in the office. Good day in the office. We'll take that. And we've got the stock. We've got this the crypto market. So let's full scale on that one, shall we? We've still got Wookie Oso in the chat there. I'm going to delete that one. It's bye Wookie. We got Bitcoin at the moment, $87,483, up 1.8%, and Bitcoin dominance still pretty strong, 59.5%, still ranging there, same range. We've got ETH at the moment is 2,075, 3.74%. Now someone's made a comment in the chat which is pretty hilarious. Is that Diamond Hand? Yeah, so much green. Yeah, I love it. Well, that's what I posted in Discord this morning. Was Green Day, and it's so true. Very cool. Now, if you're new to the channel, don't forget to smash the subscribe button here on YouTube. We're streaming to 3 YouTube channels over here. And of course, if you're over on Rumble, smash the follow button and hit the like. We got the Solana there is up 487%, which is pretty cool. Don't want to get you too far. I just realized I'm down the bottom here. We got Solana at $140, up 5.9%. Pretty good day. BNB up 1.74%, $636. ADA at the moment up 2.8% at 73 cents. XRP is up 0.5% at $2.44. Tron down 1.2% at 22.8 cents. And those are some of our leaders there. I'm just looking through a few of these. Yeah, that's pretty crazy. So, and we've got good old little Pi down here, which we've been covering because it only launched, the mainnet on the 20th and had Pi down on the 14th of March. That is down 0.25% at 93 cents. Let's see whether it will recover and have a rally. I think it is kind of consolidating in the area at the moment. It's going to be pretty interesting. Now that brings us on to Bitcoin itself. Now here on Coinbase, we've got Coinbase. We've got the price of Bitcoin, and you can see we've actually powered over the 200-day moving average. This is very bullish, and we've got the 200-day moving average at 85,500, which is pretty nice. Can you guys still see me? You can. And we've got the 50-day at 89,000. So there's currently a $4,500 gap. Is it? Yeah, $3,500 gap between these two. And you guys know we want this not to cross because we don't want a death cross, right? We want to keep the golden cross going. And here we are. And that's what we wanted to see. And we're seeing it, which is great. And we're now at $87,373 today. We had a high of 88,800. So we touched that 50-day moving average almost, not quite, just about. We were just below it there, but that is pretty awesome. So game on. So I said things would probably be quite good, and they seem to be. So let's see how we go. Now, Michael Saylor's been posting out some very good things here, and so we're going to be looking at that. So, as you guys know, I normally look at this chart on a different website, but he's posted a nice little picture of this, and he's got the little bear market, little consolidation that we got at the moment in the previous bear markets back in 2017, and then he's got the peak of 2017-18 market. And of course, that was an amazing market, that 2017, if anyone was there. Basically went from $1,000 to $20,000. Incredible. And then we had the bear market, which was pretty brutal, and there's lots of scammers coming out everywhere as well. And this is when Richard Hart started, coming out around Bitcoin Hex, because he wanted to save the people. And this bear market was pretty cool. And then we have the big rise, of course, in that year, moving up to 2020. Of course, we had the COVID little blip as well, and then of course we end up having a beautiful rally here. Now this was the little pullback in the bull market. This is kind of where we are now, and then we had hyper rallied as well, right? So that was to about 59,000, I think it was. Had a double top as well. This is Richard's Judas candle, right? This peak here, Richard's Judas candle, and then we have obviously had that brutal bear market as well, and then we just started slowly rallying up there, taking out the previous all-time high eventually in the rally. Now at the moment we've got the same little pullbacks, right? So there's a little pullback here in 21, a little pullback here in 2017, and now we've got it back in 25, and now of course indicating a bull market game on right now. And this is pretty much fitting exactly what I've been talking about for some time. So that is looking very, very good. And then of course we have bear market after that. So just note that you got to take profits on the way up, and of course if you can time the top, fantastic. But remember, the bear market comes next after that. Now, I think it's going to have a pretty golden age, of course, we're under Trump. And I think it's going to be quite mind-boggling. So we may have quite an extended rally. That's what I'm expecting to see. That could be quite lasting. Now, this diagram here suggests that we're going to rally through to the end of 25, maybe possibly at the beginning of 26, and then we'll get bear market after that. But we may have an extended one. We'll see how this chart holds up for that. But anyway, that's the one that's posted there from Michael Saylor. The Bitcoin bull run is about to begin. Buckle up. Now, the cool thing about this, obviously, because he's been buying Bitcoin, but he's also been he's been chatting with a lot of institutional money, so he has a good feel for what's going on with the big lads and the big lasses out there in the market. So that's pretty cool. Now, he also posted this 14 hours ago. Whales are buying Bitcoin like they've seen the future, and it's bullish. So he's posting here Bitcoin liquidity inventory, all exchange and GBTC, and demand from accumulator addresses. So just showing that buying's coming in there. Accumulator addresses is in pink just so you know. And we've got total sell side liquidity with the white line. So not bad. Price, sorry, I should say, with the white line. And so, yeah, that's price of Bitcoin. And we've got accumulation going on. So it is happening. And you can't sleep on that, right? Can't sleep on that. Very, very cool. Let's jump up here. We got a couple of comments around here as well. So 6 hours ago, Michael Saylor says BlackRock just scooped up $100 million worth of Bitcoin. The ETF flows are flipping back on, and the buy pressure is heating up there. And I actually got a little chart around that, so you can actually see, the ETFs are buying more here. We can see some green going on there. So, ETFs are back in the mix. And of course, 5 hours ago, he talked about strategy. Strategy just added another 6,900 BTC to the stack, dropping 584 million at the average price of 84,500 year to date 2025. And very, very cool, right? You've already racked up 7.7% BTC yield, of which at 23rd of March they sit on 506,000 BTC, locked in at 33.7. So pretty quick exciting there. The magic of Bitcoin, of course. We've got this from Michael Saylor, so kind of cool. Founder of, it's looking good. And we have some very bullish stuff here. So bullish stuff there. What else there? We've got obviously this news announcements, which I'm going to talk about. So Trump Media announced intention to partner with Crypto.com to launch ETFs. So that's very bullish. So Trump Media there, operator of the social media platform Truth Social, President Trump's platform there, has signed a binding agreement to partner with Crypto.com, one of the big exchanges. So that's pretty exciting. And of course, that is to launch a series of exchange-traded funds, so ETFs and exchange-traded products. Pretty neat. That's huge, right? Big social platform. And now Crypto.com. The ETFs made available through Crypto.com's broker, Forest Capital, expected to comprise digital assets as well as securities with a made in America focus, spanning diverse industries such as energy. Crypto.com will support the back-end technology, provide custody, and supply the cryptocurrencies for the ETFs, which are anticipated to include a unique ETF basket of cryptocurrencies, including Bitcoin, Kronos, and other cryptos. Planned to launch later this year, subject to definite agreement and regulatory approval. Funds are expected to be widely available internationally, including the United States, Europe, and Asia, across existing platforms and brokerages there. The TMTG CEO and chairman, Devin Nunes, said, "We're excited to join Crypto.com along with our partner, Yorkville America, to launch America First Investment Products, supporting innovative crypto ventures, great American companies, and cutting-edge technology. We aim to create inventive funds, incorporating firms that can concentrate on rapid growth, technological innovation, strengthen the U.S. economy, unencumbered by woke nonsense and political posturing. Investors will finally have options that adhere to their principles and superior U.S. companies' precise focus on their core businesses." Crypto.com CEO and founder said, "We are proud to partner with Truth Social and, of course, Yorkville America, and to support the launch of these new ETFs, including the first of its kind basket of tokens, including Crow. These ETFs will give consumers more options from a brand with a loyal following. Once launched, these ETFs will be available on Crypto.com's app for our more than 140 million users around the world. The ETFs are planned to launch alongside a slate of Truth.fi separately managed accounts, SMAs. The ETFs and SMAs, both of which the TG is planning to invest in. It's via its own cash reserves, are part of TMTG's financial services and fintech strategy, using up to 250 million to be custodied by Charles Schwab there. So pretty bullish news on that front. So you can see there's lots of good news coming, right? Lots of good news. So we're game on. It's game on. So for the last month or so has been a bit ruthless, but it looks like it's looking green day coming up there. So we got what do we got there? We got Liberation Day on the 2nd of April. We might manage to get through that. It's still going to be a bit volatile in my opinion, but we'll get through that and then onwards to bull market. It's going to be fun. Now, Richard Hart has been talking around stuff as well. So obviously been telling people not to participate with the DAI contract. He's been making particular moves behind the scenes, pulling the LP and things like that, dumping down PDI and all sorts of stuff. But he's got out here last 23 hours, some free Bitcoin money might be waiting for you. Obviously still pushing Pulse Chain's copy. wrap Bitcoin there. See how I warn you about wrap Bitcoin counterparty risk? This is all the way back on 26th of June, of course, 2023 is referencing there. Finally, remember that wrap Bitcoin has an admin key at BitGo, I think. So their counterparties risk, they're holding the keys to about 5 billion in BTC so far. Says Etherscan, so a bit of evidence there. Then, of course, he posts about Pulse Chain. And, of course, the yields on there, they were up about 18 to 20% at the time he posted about 8 hours ago. So he posted that. I got 85,000 views on that. And I've been watching his kind of views to see whether they're climbing quite nicely. 85,000 is pretty good in 8 hours. So Rich Hart getting his engagement up recently has certainly started to work. Now, that is kind of weird. We've got a little dot here as well. The conspiracy theorists have moved on. What else we got? We've got talking about these PDI videos, right? About this scammer on PDI. And of course, he posted a spreadsheet there. Well, he provided an update 2 hours ago. Actually, where's that gone now? Yeah, there it is there. So he provided this update. You can watch the exploiter sell his newly minted PDI in real time. And of course, he's talking about the famous 5996 address there. And of course, he's got that on DBank. So he posted that up. Still pushing back that, wants people to end that, as apparently in the PDI maker. So that is Richard Hart updates, and of course that leads us in the Pulse Chain. Well, since he covered it, while Pulse Chain was doing very well, is now reversed. So it didn't take many hours to do that. We got day 682. Pulse is now at quadruple 0276, down 12.3%. So pretty volatile on Pulse Chain at the moment. Pulse X at the moment quadruple 024, down 12%. And the buy and burn, well, it's not showing up properly on here actually. I don't know if there's a site working at the moment. It's a little bit awry. But we've got INC at $1.50, down 11%, it says. And we've got Hex at 65 hundredths of a penny, down 15%. And EHEX at 18 hundredths of a penny. Combined price of EHEX and PX, 83 hundredths of a penny. And gas prices, how they doing? 4.5 million beats, so a little elevated. 4 cents for a Pulse X swap at the moment. And we've got also validators, 48,550. Now, I did see, was it David Feder out there talking about good time to get into validating? And I think so. Very good time to accumulate a 32 million Pulse, do direct validating. And there's a couple of options to do indirect validating through NFTs and other pooled funds. I think like was it UpX or something? Could do that. So I might cover some of those in another show. And the bridge, we've been watching the bridge, right? This is the health check. Well, we're sitting, just a slightly up from yesterday, I think it was. I think we're just below 91. We're at 91.5 million now. So we're up slightly from yesterday. I see that the DAI has gone down a little bit, couple 100,000. USDC's taken second position there. I'm not sure if that was there yesterday. I think it might have actually. EHEX is down, of course. ETH is up and Bitcoin is up. So, yeah, there we go. Bit of balancing out there between the majors and the stables and EHEX. What else there? We've seen, if we scroll down here, actually, let's go scroll down on the chart here. We can actually see some of the popular coins. So it looks like Calm's doing well, Mint's doing well from Mintra NFT market. Atropa's back up 10%, so got a little nice there. Now Tetra's up 9% as well. And, we're looking for the launch of Tetra LP management, right? And partial limit orders coming up for that. That's on the 28th. So that's the next big project launching. Maybe also EMIT. EMIT and Tetra launching this week is my guess. So not bad there. Let me just hide that. So some good stuff happening there. Hedron's doing pretty well, up to 40%, not bad. Mikey are the meme coins, doing very well lately. And Mike is up 91%. Bear is back up as well, 46% there as well. That seemed like an obvious thing. And out of the PDI copies, we're definitely getting the make. It's still not dying off. The liquidity's died off, but the price is still rallying there. PDI up 34%, and we're going to be talking about that, right? So we've got PUSD T up 26% and PSDC up 35%. So all the PRC20 copies of stablecoins are rallying. Aave is up as well, and of course Wrap Bitcoin there. Wrap Bitcoin, I think, is probably the best out of all these in terms of decoupling from the whole PDI maker, and that's up 9% at the moment. We can see Compass up 10% and so on. Yeah, so there we go. So look a few of these. So that's where we are on the markets. Have a look at the volume, $41 million in volume. So that's quite a bit down from yesterday. We're at like 70 million or so. We're down about 30 million there, and the transactions were up about 600,000. I think it was yesterday. We're at 486,000 today. And looking at the best performers, I'm going to have to zoom in on this because it's a little bit little bit awry, and we can see that the best performer today is Maker, which was a no-brainer yesterday. It was $7 yesterday. It is $14.38 today. It is having a crushing opportunity there. In fact, it got lower, even lower than $7. $7 when I saw it. It went down to $5.35. It is now up at $14.35, and it has had a high today of $17.66. So the Maker diet theory is still playing on, still going on, despite Richard's talk about that. So and actions about that. So there we go. That is crazy. And of course, it was predicted by us in Discord. So if you're not in Discord, jump in the link. Get in the link there, folks, because we have been following this. And yeah, join up today. That's all I can say. $12.50 a month, pretty damn good value for good discussion and insights. So join up. And if you want to get that extra edge, join up the Strategy Club. Only $35 a month as well. So terrific value in there, and become part of our community. We love more community members, so get in on that one. All right, so that is the Maker there, doing very, very well. As you can see, we're going to come back and talk about it. Let's talk about it now, actually. So we've got the P-Die there from P.99 Capital. Obviously, he's been a big resource for a lot of people to talk about, P-Die there. And of course, the king of the maxi crew, as we say. We are witnessing an unbelievable battle. Neither the blue nor the red teams can recognize each other, and both believe they're on the right side of history. So that's a pretty colorful thing there. Neither the blue or red teams can recognize each other. And yeah, we're going to see where that goes, right? So we got this little diagram, we've got the little diagram there. P maker in surplus. We got P maker in deficit. We got flop to mint P maker. And then we got flop auctions. So you hear everyone talking about flop auctions. And of course, we did kind of cover this yesterday. And flop auctions is kind of the next big deal, right? Because basically it mints maker tokens, right? P maker tokens. And it's going to mint a lot. It could be mint about 20% of the current maker supply. So it's a big deal. And of course, people have to bid with a P-Die. And so P-Die will get bought up to buy that maker. And so you're inflating maker, and P-Die will be destroyed. That's basically the end game. So that's pretty much it. So you mint a whole ton of maker, probably maybe 220 million maker, something like that. And then you get all the P-Die. And that P-Die gets destroyed, right? Pretty much that with paying off the debt that's in the maker contract, right? So it's going to be pretty exciting to see that. And of course, it's still going to take a few days for that to happen. And let's have a look at those stats, right? So let's have a look at what that all means. So that is kind of the chart there. Nice little summary. And you can see at the moment. So the joy, you're probably familiar with. We talked about this yesterday. So can you still see me? Yeah, you can still see me. So we've got the joy there at 268 million. Now, this was up at about 1.5 billion. It's now 268 million. And this gets fed by three main features inside the Maker DAO contract, right? That feed it. And of course, it feeds that, and it had about 1.5 million. Now it's been dramatically reducing, particularly over the last 24 hours. It was up at 700 million. Now it's down at 268. I mean, last night I think it was at 300, down to 268. So it has slowed down, but it's still, not far away from going pretty low. So think about that being the assets that you have. So that's the assets that the Maker contract has. So that's profitable. In other words, Maker's profitable. It's doing pretty well, but it's obviously coming down a lot. Because why is it coming down? Because it has to pay the debts that are in the system, right? That loans are pretty much defaulting because of the way the market's moving. And of course, they have to pay those debts off. First of all, they try to liquidate them. And that's where we get this terminology called the OR. This is the total debt assigned to the VAL contract. And basically, this is the amount of loans that need to be fixed up and get liquidated. They have to provide, collateral. And so they have to try and pay those back. And if they can't pay them back, they have to go to the WOE, right? They move on to the WOE, which is basically you move from individual loan being liquidated and covering that debt. Now you have to move it to a system-wide solution, right, to save the Maker system. And they go to this WOE debt, right? So that's kind of the idea there. And we can see that the estimated day time here for this WOP auction, this flop auction, let's say WOP, flop auction, is the 31st of March. So that's kind of the key day there. That's the current estimate. And what's the estimated based on? Well, here is the debt auction requires the following two requirements to be met. First of all, the WOE needs to be bigger than the slump. Now, the sump is just the auction size. So imagine you want to put up a whole ton of debt for auctions, and you got these auctions that have to be bigger than 50,000 PDI, right? Have to be bigger than that. So the woe there, so at the moment 45,000. 45,000 is less than 50,000, right? That's pretty much it. So the amount that will be auctioned up is less. But this woe may not even get there, right? Why? Because we've got this joy over here, and this debt may get settled, right? So it might go back to zero again, and we see that time and time again, right? That's what happens there. And so you've got to get this woe be greater than the sum, and you've got to have the joy be zero, right? So the joy, this is what it says here, this is the second condition, and this is the main one, right? Really, this has to be zero. And once that's zero, there's no more money to pay down this debt, right? This debt that's in liquidation. And so therefore it has to get auctioned off here. And there we get to the flop auctions, right? Because that's whatever remains after you've used all your profitable assets that you've accumulated inside the maker contract. You can't pay down these debts anymore. They're not getting liquidated through the flip auctions. Then you have to go to the flop auctions. And so that's when this all begins, right? And how do you do that? You have to mint maker into existence. So that's definitely an inflationary aspect. And then, of course, you will then have to bid on those with PDI. That's kind of the idea there. And that's what people are excited for. And, of course, there's a maturity period of 156 hours. And so that gives us an estimated date there of March the 31st, sorry, at midday. So that will change, when it gets recalculated at different times. So there we go. This estimate is based on the current joy. That's a joy, the current assets that the system holds, the current woe, the bad debts that aren't able to be previously solved by liquidations, and of course the sin entries, right? So the total amount of debt that exists. All right, so the debt requires that woe is greater than equal to sum, and joy equals zero, and calculated using 170 sin entries. So that's the amount of loans probably in requiring liquidation, right? So that because the market prices have moved in the wrong direction. So that's kind of where it is. And so the maker contract's been rallying on that, right? So it's rallied up there to $13.50, even higher. And that's what we expected last night before we went in, because, we looked at this and said, well, even though inflation's normally a negative thing, people will see it as a positive because PDI will be disappearing, right? And PDI, they're connected together, right? So PDI is disappearing off the market, and it's going to be a lot of PDI, right? So that's kind of where we are. Because if you think about it, there's like 26 billion ceiling on PDI, and look, you've almost got a billion in here. Probably end up being about 600 million. So it's a big number, right? So market's sort of making a decision. Is that cool? Now, those are the kind of the mechanics of PDI maker that's going on, right? And so that's where we get this all this right up here. Now, so let's have a look at what Iron Cap was saying. So the flop auctions are about to mint about 220,000 maker. I did that calculation before you even read it. I did that calculation, and we came up pretty much the same number. So that was pretty good. A 20% increase in the maker token supply, leaving 3 final solutions, and he's still got PDI to $1, right? So he's the leader of the maxis. Now, the one thing about him, he always provides evidence. So it's not a drama thing, and there's tons of drama online, but really just look at the evidence and weigh it up for yourself, right? That's pretty much it. Number 2, scenario 1. So he's got a couple of scenarios. The flop auctions go to the 599.16. They will use PA Maker to reset the oracles and force the rest of the best debts into default. Now, I have a trouble with this oracle use term because there are no oracles on Pulse Chain until recently, or until the fetch oracle came, and that's not connected into the maker contract. So this is the only contention I have with this use of terminology around oracles. Now, we also know that Alex McFurter, one of our best quality devs on Pulse Chain, made a very good post about oracles and prices in the system. So this is where I have the biggest fundamental contention with the PDI maker theory, right? So PDI, the maker contract doesn't have God mode keys, right? Because the DAO controls the maker contract, and whoever controls the maker has most maker in there, and when they go to voting in the DAO, can make proposals and control that, right? So that's where it is. So it's not a God mode key issue. It's who controls maker. So that's why if you're going to mint more maker and people buy that maker with DAO just to fix up this debt on the maker contract with PDI, then they could potentially take control of the wallet, right? Now, the other questions are there are other Maker holders, right? Because Maker was copied over. There's other big holders on the contract, and there's also that AMM bot that Richard set up at the beginning of Pulse Chain to harvest all the PRC20 tokens, and that would include Maker and PDI and things like that. So there's a lot of unknowns there as well. Some people have tried to do certain analysis on those. You have to go check those out. I haven't really followed up on that, but that is kind of some of the issues that we might have here. So oracles and who controls the maker. This could be a takeover event potentially. So we'll see what happens here. They will use PA maker to reset the oracles. And so this is a question mark, this line here. What are you talking about? There's no oracles. Are you just talking about resetting up the prices? Are you talking about fixed constant prices? Because that's kind of weird. That's not how it operates. It's supposed to be dynamic. And of course, that normally fixed prices typically lead you to a fall over in the protocol. So we'll see what this means, and force the rest of the bad debts into the default. The final flop auction will be huge, and this P maker will be used in PRV to back PDI to $1. So this is where it connects to other copied debt protocols as well, like PRV. So we shall see where we lie there. So he's got this this diagram. Flop auctions begins. That's potentially the 31st, and then of course he's got the different players on here. He's got the 5996, the so-called exploiter gets P maker. They're going to take control of the maker contract there. We got PulseX LP gets P maker, and we got the haters get P maker because they use their PDI to buy it. Maybe Richard Hart does it with the AMN share that he got or whatever. So what's going to happen here? Right, there's a lot of scenarios here. It resets the oracles. Now, this is the question I have here. What are you talking about? Is this a short-term fix with the prices in the system? Because I think that's a pretty big issue there. So that's a big question. No one's really talking about. I see a lot of the people, influencers talking about stuff, but they're not talking about this oracle stuff here, right? So it's a little bit, just asking the question because there is no oracles. So they're just talking about the prices in the system they're going to move around because they can be manipulated, right? If you haven't got the proper oracle. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. I think that's the big issue there. P balance flash loans and of course peg there. I don't have too much problem with these other things. And then we've got ECM here and game over here if the haters get it right. Haters get it. Maybe that's a Richard Hart thing. Then it's the end game for P maker once and for all, right? Because they take over the contract and kill it essentially. So we'll see. There's a bit of a battle going on there. So flop auctions are exciting, and they're definitely going to lift value. And the maker market there was definitely benefiting from that, even though it's going to be inflating because the PDI will be less. There'll be less debts, and the debt system will re-correct itself, right? So that is where we are there. So good little right up there. Then number 3 there, we had scenario 2. This is in the middle. The flop auctions are sold on PulseX. And of course, the PDI believers get the P maker and cast a spell. We can vote to lower all debt ceilings to 0 and remove collateral from the vaults. This would stop bad debt cleanup and force vaults into a flop auction there. So that would accelerate the opportunity that we just talked about with the benefit of flop auctions. Set scenario 2, it is possible. So this is still the same one. Yeah, it's still the same one there. It is possible that someone can replicate 5996 actions, the so-called exploiter there. If they are pro PDI, they could burn the minted PDI, push the bad debts in to be flogged. That pushes it into, of course, this woe here. It goes from the sin queue into the woe when it gets flogged. And of course, create an enormous deficit that would need to be repaid. This would allow the community to reset P maker. And then, of course, there's a third scenario, and this is at the bottom. The flop goes to those that think P maker is broken and never realize its potential. And this is what I think is the case, is that though you got this mechanism working at the moment, that the oracles, there's no oracles connected to it. So, what the hell are these guys talking about? And so that's my one criticism. So that's probably the main one there. And like I say, whoever controls the maker and voting can control, reset some of these parameters, right? Because there are no God mode keys to maker. So yeah, this is kind of where we are. So it's going to be interesting. Even with the flop auctions, we may have a takeover by the people that are, against it. Maybe that's Richard Hart. We'll see. Or we're going to get 599 dominating the so-called exploiter there, and some people still holding on to that player as a good actor rather than a bad actor. Even though we've got evidence that $4 million at least went over was sold dumping, and Richard posted more of that today. So we shall see whether it will head. So still pretty volatile environment, but the excitement's all about the WAP auction. Sorry, what did I say? What did I say? Call it. It's all about the Whoop auction. Whoop auction. I mean, I'm just keep changing my words here. Let me go. The flop auction. Sorry. Why am I saying Whoop? I don't know. Probably need a drink. We got the flop auction. Is my bad. All right. So we got the flop auction. The flop auction goes to these that think P maker is broken. So it's the end game's not here. You're right. We got the flop auction. Yeah, it's great and exciting getting rid of that debt. People are going to bid on the maker, and maker's going to get inflated. And they might take over the maker contract potentially if they've got enough voting power and so on. So, as a reminder, a new spell needs 46,000 makers. So, you've got to have that many to do that. Remember, 220 million maker are going to be made in this block auction approximately. So, we've got 46,000 that you need to vote it through. So, it's going to be interesting to see who dominates this outcome here if it so occurs. So, all three potential endpoints are possible. There are no admin keys for PDI. 0, and that is, I agree with that 100%, because it's really who controls Maker and who controls the protocols there. There are votes within PMaker DAO. These votes can cast spells to fix the system. Oracles can be rebuilt. Now, that's a big question there, relinking oracles. Now, we only know the two oracles. That is going to be Fetch Oracle, which launched recently from Liquid Loans. And these are decentralized ones as well. Now, you can set up centralized oracles. We know that there's centralized oracles in some of Jacob's projects for the crypto casinos and things like that. But there's some of that in some of the PUSD ones, right? So the centralized oracles. But really, you want decentralized oracles, right? Because that's the safest operation, that you can leave the contract and it will just run its own thing, right? So oracles can be rebuilt. Sure, I believe that's the case. If you control the maker contract, you should be able to do that. So that could be the resurrection of the project, right? So yeah, definitely cool. And now that we've got Fetch Oracle out there, we're going to have Signum Oracle, which probably going to be even slightly better. So Signum Oracle, and that's what we're looking forward to as well. That we know it's going to be launching in a week or two. So the path to restore PDI Maker could be there. However, Richard's as pointing out that not only do you have not only do you have this exploiter, so-called exploiter out there, then that's a big problem, right? So in the maker contract, you're going to have to somehow shut that exploiter down, right? That's something you'll have to do there. So as the hate towards PDI rises, remember, I am just a commentator. I mean you no harm, and none of this is financial advice. It has been a privilege to analyze the story. PDI deflation is here. Deficit mode is engaged. The flop is coming. And of course, he posts a picture of this platform, right, which is right here, right? So I'm going to post a link to that if you guys want to check that out in your own time. Maybe go through it again. You can check that out. It's always good to provide the evidence and have a discussion on that. We put quite a few notes in the Discord under crypto chat. So if you want to go through a lot of the technical side of PDI Maker, definitely do that. Obviously, this is a pretty big deal. It's been one of the best performers on Pulse Chain, and a lot of influencers are talking about it, of course, to varying degrees. So you can check that out. Some are advocators, some are negatives, and some are in the middle, neutral, which is where I put myself, probably in the neutral camp. But my biggest critique would be the oracles, and you'd have to take control of that contract and potentially have some coders and that reset that up. But that's definitely doable now in a decentralized way with the Fetch Oracle, in particular with Signum Oracle coming up. So maybe there is a path for restoration there of the Maker DAO. But at the moment, there are no technical oracles in there at the moment, so it'll just be using some sort of internal price system there or something like that. All right, so that's kind of cool. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That is our PDI Maker, and of course, Maker there rallied on that news. That makes it exciting, I guess. And markets like excitement. It's also reaching further afield. People outside of Pulse Chain hearing about it, talking about it. Maker contracts a big deal over on Ethereum. So it's making for some interesting stuff there. Kind of cool. And here is the Maker contract. Maker set structure of all the interactions of the Maker contract. So it's a pretty big. You can see we've got the flip auctions here with the liquidations that we talked about, and we've also got the flop auctions, which is the next one where with flip there. You got liquidations because collaterals and things the prices go down, so they have to be liquidated. If that fails, that debt is not fully recovered. It has to go and get covered in the flop auctions, and that's kind of where we are at the moment, right? Where the system It goes from an individual to the system security of the whole protocol, and therefore they have to put the printout maker to get PDI so they can pay off those debts, right? So it's kind of the idea there, and make the system healthy again. It's kind of the idea. So kind of cool. All right, so I hope you guys enjoy that. You can see the flop to mint maker there. See the mint button? That's where it mints maker. Pretty cool, right? And then you got the auction user over here going to bid die there on the maker there. Pretty neat. All right, lots of terminology, but that is the basic idea there. All right, that leads us into actually in some of the rest of the markets at the moment. So maker obviously doing well overnight, and that's the PDI maker contract. We've also got some other cool ones here. We've got Bitcoin and Dodge. They're up 80%, 50%. These are all pump tires. So Richard has, tell people, go back to the Richard Hart tokens. It's real value is. Check out some of the top pump tires, perhaps. That's kind of the general direction. As we've had a few of those rallying, there's lots of those sort of things. Now, I don't know if I'm not a big fan of pump.tire stuff. I mean, it's speculative, sure, and there are some top tier ones, sure. But actually, I think people need to be very selective on what they get into. With Richard Hart tokens, kind of a no-brainer there. You just have to be patient with that. Teddy Bear got pretty sold off pretty hard because of the PDI collection. I still like Teddy Bear. I think it's a great meme, and it's getting somewhat decoupled a little bit, but I definitely think the Teddy Bear could do very, very well. But once again, it's up to you what you do. Now, we've also seen Finvestor ecosystem been playing a really good role. So we've got tokens like Remembered been doing pretty well lately, and Finvestor itself. Troper, of course, a bit of a question mark about that. We've had a bit of recovery there. Obviously, that was coupled as well. And we have seen a couple of teams talk about decoupling some of our best protocols like PDDC. And of course, like SolidX, they have already announced that they were decoupling from PDI. And really the only one is a Troper is the other big one. And I think he reverses position. So I haven't managed to check up on James Maria, but we'll keep a lookout for that at the stage. But that's up at the moment, 16%. So there we go. There's a few of the leaders there. But, got quite a few green charts today. 9mm, the DEX is up as well, up 11%. Dominance, another Finvestor project, up 10%. And the Hex on Pump Ties is up as well. So there we go. There's a few opportunities, isn't there, in the mix there that have done pretty well. All right, so let's see. We've got any more comments in the chat. Let me see here. We got Wookie says we have a ways to go with this PDI yet. Yeah, I think the journey's the drama is going to continue on until we see this mechanical process for the flop kick in. And it's just it got accelerated over the last 24 hours or so. That's why people are pretty optimistic about it. Can RH fork the protocol? Yeah, I guess so. Now, they're more complicated than a lot of protocols, but yeah, I guess that could be done. Could be someone else could try and fork it. I don't know. We'll see. Wookie on the spot there and airdrops. Now, people have to provide collateral to it and set that up, but yeah, that could be done. If you don't control the maker contract, that would make, I guess, the logical thing. I don't know about, I don't think there's any restrictions on that, but maybe there is some proprietary information there. I just don't know how that was set up originally. So I don't want to go, 100% yes, but good chance of it, maybe. It is a very complicated protocol in terms you got to get collateral and all that stuff. We see liquidity forks, they seem to be not too difficult to launch, but I'm not quite sure how much more difficult maker would be. And airdrop holders there, so yeah. Right, so it could be something Richard could potentially do. But why do we need that when we've got PUSD ALGO, right? So PUSD ALGO is coming. And of course, that's going to be the ultimate algorithmic stablecoin. And it's really cool to see people taking more interest in it. Because this is going to be the true, people thought PDI, but ALGO is like, it's clean, man. It's clean. So we've got PUSD ALGO. So if you guys want to participate in this stablecoin coming up, once the Signum Oracle launches, that's within the next week or two. That's been confirmed by Stu yesterday, the dev, and then, the founder there. And so, yeah, get a 19% bonus on this. I saw someone yesterday in PUSD ALGO, won't name names, but they want a referral code. They got one that is less than 19%, so definitely get a good one. And the link is in the description for that. I consider small contribution, of course. And we've got that first enabler there is the Signum Oracle, and then PUSD ALGO. We'll get updated plans for that. We also know that Jacob has hired a new team of devs to get this up and running for 2.0, as I call it. I call it that. I call it 2.0 because it's going to have a new UI UX, so a new interface. The basic model is worked very, very well, extremely well with a pegged PUSD. It's also got the best branding, right? PUSD for native stablecoin. And the big thing is it will be able to scale big time, because people will buy ALGO. That's the kind of the main token. They'll have to mint PUSD with it, right? So that is the mechanic. And of course, all you have to do is copy the address there and send your tokens to it, right? That's how easy it is, and you'll get that 90% bonus. If you do about $840 plus the referral bonus, it will get to $1,000, and that will then get you added to the second bonus, which is called Bonus X, and you'll get a random number between 1.01 and 2x. So there's a good chance you could get a very good multiplier there, and that is a big, big deal, right? Now, the accepted tokens on Pulse-Chain are EDI, EUSDC, USD Tether, Pulse, PulseX, and Hex. Ethereum is the other one, DAI, USDC, USD Tether, ETH, BRAT, Bitcoin, X. So you can send any of those to this wallet here. You can connect your wallet up, of course. And then once you do that, you can also get your own referral code and send that around to your friends as well. So there's lots of cool opportunities there in this protocol. Now, what is it? It's going to be a stablecoin. It's going to have a V3 DEX, and it's going to have the special technology, fully DeFi. It's going to have the stability miners, and up to 75% of the liquidity that goes into this, what I call contribution/sacrifice, is going to go day one into the LP pools and the stability miners to peg, make the peg strong. Now, the PUSD is also, as we understand it, going to be based on top of USDL, so on top of the liquidity fork. So it's actually got 2 layers of stability, which is pretty cool. And we're going to have some pretty cool stuff there. Also, in addition to being a stablecoin, in addition to being able to be very scalable with like ALGO, using ALGO, it's also going to have the V3 DEX and the stability miner. It's also going to have a DeFi platform. In other words, you're going to be able to earn yield from it, and multiple yield at that. So you're going to be able to earn, providing liquidity for the stability miners that keep the dollar pegged. You're going to be able to stake tokens and earn, right? So you get tokens there as well, and you're going to be able to claim those tokens, including a reward token. So you're going to be able to earn tokens, I should say, like Flex. So everything you do on the platform, you'll earn Flex, and particularly if you provide liquidity. So the LP peers there, you get a share of the trading fees, which is pretty cool. Not only does Stability Miner have this peg, but it also earns this arbitrage as well. So it earns money, and it was very profitable when it was running on testnet. And of course, you earn fees there. You can also stake tokens, ALGO and PUSD, and earn a yield on that. Not like Anchor, where it was up at 20%, but you'll earn some pretty good yields relative to the sort of the risk return of these. So obviously, ALGO a bit more riskier than the PUSD, which is going to be stable. So you'll have different yields on there, but you also have different end dates as well. So mixing it up when yield comes out, it's kind of cool. And of course, you're going to earn Flex token on everything here. Whatever you're doing on the platform, you'll earn Flex rewards there as well. So it's pretty neat for like that. So this is going to be the next big. This is the real PDI. And of course, there's no if or buts about an oracle. Who controls the maker contract? Is the protocol healthy? Is there an exploiter? There's none of that, right? This is just going to be up and running. This is going to be like Terra Luna, but done right, as we say, because it's going to be full DeFi. So very excited about that. Links in the video description if you want to participate in that. So there we go, 90% referral bonus. Start winning straight away. Now, the other big thing we're going to talk about is EMIT, because EMIT is doing very well indeed. And I might actually go back to another format here. Let's go to EMIT here. And we've got EMIT launch is coming up, and I'm excited about it. It has got a pretty good team and founder there, Kairos. And I do encourage you, I've pinned to the top of the chat there, along with Brian, the links to the Telegram, and you can join up. All you have to do is just be engaging and inquisitive about it. The next big farm coming up to Pulse-Chain. Now, farms, of course, you provide liquidity on PulseX V2, and then you get LP tokens. Those are ownership tokens of that liquidity that provided, and then you can put them in the farm. That's basically the idea there, and we'll have different farming peers on the EMIT farm. But before that, they've launched the EMIT NFTs, which are called emitters, and they're only 1 million pulse each, so they're pretty good value, and people can get access to that, and that gives you a booster inside the farms when you go on the farms. Now, they've also 11 hours ago, EMIT launch extravaganza. They're obviously doing some promotions at the moment. Airdrop spots, promotions, NFT giveaways. All you have to do is tag 3 friends in the reply with submissions, and like an RT this post. So they've got a nice little promotions going on at the moment. You can provide art, AI generation, or memes, or emit launch theme as well. Include TG names there and reply for prizes So that is pretty cool as well. So you can definitely do that, and I'm going to repost that too, and I'll give you a link on that in the chat there if you want to participate in that. A lot of people like to get in these competitions, so EMIT has got one of those at the moment. Kind of cool. And that is the link there, man. All right, so if you want to get into that competition there and a promotion, the other thing, of course, you can follow the EMIT there. I posted the link up the top, which I've got there. So if you want to join the Telegram, tell them that Superman sent you, and be engaged and find out everything about that. Now they do have a Substack, and I also posted a video the other day showing the tokenomics. So you can check that out on YouTube or Rumble, or also just ask them in the chats. Normally pinned to the top, but they'll help you out there too. And that is coming up. And remember to do your own due diligence, your own investment advice, and all that sort of stuff. And then, of course, we got the website, right? So the website is up and running, EMIT Farm, and that is coming up. So EMIT Farm is expected to launch this week. So get the NFTs first, and then the EMIT Farm. That's kind of the logic there if you're going to go into the farms. So that is it. Bang. That is it one there. So that is the EMIT email, and that's the website there. So emit.farm. Now, emit.farm there, you can go to the NFT, and of course, you can connect your wallet up and you can mint an NFT. So far, 95 NFTs have been minted. They're $1 million pulse each, which is about $30, something like that, maybe a bit cheaper. And so you can mint one of those. And if you get points inside the Telegram, they get multiplied by the NFTs for the farms. You get sort of a booster, and you can check that out too. They've got all the details there. Now they have a blog, so the blog has all the explanations. Well worth and going through all these. If you want to read introducing EMIT's NFT collections, you can read those. EMIT DAO and Parent Community. So they've got some good information there, and you can read those too on the blog, which is pretty cool. So that is the first thing, the NFTs. They give you boosters in the farm. And of course, then the farm's going to launch this week, apparently. So we may see that this weekend, right? And probably see it this weekend. So get into Telegram, keep up to date there. That's where all the alpha will be flowing. And of course, I'll do my best to cover that as well. So big shout out to Karas there in the EMIT Telegram, and join up today. I think we've had some good growth in there. And so get in there. Now, once you get in there, you can get your own, if you type /link, you can get your own referral code to the Telegram to grow the community, and you can spread that around to your friends as well. So /link there and get your own links. Pretty cool. All right, so we're going to quickly wrap up with Titanex because we've got 3 minutes to go. And we can see that at the moment that Titanex is green today, which is nice to see. We're up 7.75% on Titanex. The ratio, though, let's have a look at the ratio to ETH. As you guys know, that's kind of the main thing I watch, is the ratio going up against Ethereum. At the moment, the price is just sitting along the bottom there. We can see that up slightly today, but it's pretty much sitting on the bottom. And in terms of ETH there, let's have a look at that. The ETH ratio is off the bottom. I mean, we were down at 7,500, 7,300 even. Now we're at 8,400. So it's a little bit better. We're still at the bottom of the recent days. So it's got a bit of work to do. And everyone's waiting for wave 3. And, of course, the Omni chain. And all the buy and burns have been turned off, right? So there's no buy and burns. They're highly collateralized protocols, particularly for Titanex and DragonX, Hydra, and Hyper. But the buy and burns are turned off, right? So if they get turned on, man, oh man, up and away pretty quick. But also there's the Omni chain strategy, right? So moving to base chain and other chains and launching a whole ton of projects that are going to be happening as well. Now, DragonX at the moment sitting at about 7 Titanex per one DragonX is worth 7 Titanex. That's up 7.8% at the moment. Buy and burns turned off there too. Now X28 is up about 9%, but the ratio is down at 0.86 Titanex, and of course that's going to have to benefit from the Omni chain strategy, and of course protocols built on X28. So we'll have to be patient with that one. And ideally, you want to get that over 1-to-1, because if you do, then you start burning 50% of the Titanex that goes through X28 through the Minter platform, right? So that's kind of the idea there. Now, Shogun not making a big move today. The ratio down on X28, but that moves around a lot with the bots, so they can vary widely. That's going on the chain. Like I say, the Hyper and Hydra up today, nice, 14%, 11%, pretty cool. And that suggests the ratios are up, right? And both of those are pretty much minted out, and the buy and burns are turned off. So we look forward to big things from them. Vault, of course, we got news around Vault. Yeah, boy. So Bitcoin Genie, a white paper has been announced, and that's coming up. So going to be pretty excited about that. So Bitcoin Genie has been announced coming up on Thursday, US time, I guess. So what's about 3 days time at 20 UTC. It's going to be on Mike Dean's show with Stevie D there. So pretty exciting for that. So that's Vault Bitcoin Genie. It's going to be the frontier of DeFi ROI protocols, tokenomics, and focused on the buy side sustainability. And it's going to be very well, Stevie D is super excited about it, and so am I. So I'm looking forward to that. I think that's kind of the most interesting, potentially hyper pumpamentals for not only Vault but for crypto generally, because I love this frontier stuff. We're searching for the Holy Grail, right? Searching for the Holy Grail. Maybe that might be the very one. We shall see. The chosen one, as they say. Morpheus, of course, we haven't really heard much from Brandon as far as I know. That's pretty flat today, down slightly. Baby Dragon X going omni-chain, so we're looking forward to that. Tink Farms from Eric, waiting for news around that too. And of course, Vibernex is going to be launching. That will benefit Tink Farms, along with what do we have? Inferno, I think it was. No, not Inferno, Bonfire. What else? The Element 280 is going to multi-chain, so it's going to go over to multi-chain. It's going to be the key peer over there. It's from the Dude, and it's going to be hooked up with Baby Dragon X and 3 or 4 other protocols, including Uranus, the first project over on Base Chain, which has done very well so far. Ouroboros, of course, up 3.6%, doing solid job there while the market's down. And let's have a look through some of these others. Uranus, of course, done very well, up 2.39x. So that's a very good result in the last 43 days, and had a really good pump, almost got to 3x just on Sunday there when they put the buy and burn on, I think it was, for a little bit. That is up 2.6% today. And then, of course, USDX there from Ouroboros, pretty flat, but that's sitting pretty solid. We'll probably have another look at that. Now, these new protocols, Flare, B88, and S88, all down again today from yesterday. I think the auctions were pretty juicy, right? So that's probably why they got dumped on there. But I need to spend more time on those. I haven't really done enough commentary on those. And like I say, the big news coming up is that Bitcoin Genie, finally, the white paper for the holy grail of tokenomics, is it's coming out from there from the mad scientist Stevie D, and that should benefit Vault in quite a big way, presumably. If it's super successful, then that is very bullish. So looking forward to that. That's coming out there on Thursday at 8 o'clock UTC, I guess it is. 20? No, it's at 10 o'clock UTC, is it? So yeah, we should see. Now, the other one, of course, we're looking forward to is our Cryptographics, the big YouTuber there with Taurus. Looking forward to that too. Another frontier DeFi ROI protocol. Looking forward to that. Can that get sustained demand? That's the thing, right? So Taurus and Bitcoin Genie, can they give you sustained demand rather than a pump and dump fest, right? That's the thing. And of course, Vibemex coming up later on for Tink Farm. So that is kind of where we are with these projects at the moment, which is not bad, right? So we've got some excitement coming. We've got bull market coming. That was the highlight from the crypto updates there from Michael Saylor and others. Bull market is coming. We've got better news around the tariffs. Trump's strategy is playing out very well. Their team is doing a lot of great things up against all the Democrat crime syndicate, as we call it. And of course, they are doing a great job there. We also see that we've got some green movement happening here in Titanex, and of course Pulse Chain there. We've still got the PDI drama going on, but it is pretty exciting to watch. Always best to have a neutral position on it. Now, obviously, if you were in it and you lost a lot of money, that's not so much fun. But let's see whether it can have another day in the sun, as it were. So let's see what happens with this flop auction and who gets control of PDI Maker. Will there be a power play? We should see. Will there be votings? Will it be reset? Will it be restored? Will it be forked potentially? I don't know. That's some interesting things. We do have the Fetch Oracle now, and of course we've got Signum Oracle coming up very soon, next week or two. So it might just be that volatile period before we move towards greatness. We shall see. Obviously, Richard's pulled his support for it at the moment with the LPs and the dumpings, and obviously moved on to Richard Art token and stuff like that. And that's probably generally for most people. If you want more stability, that's the direction you should go. Definitely, PDI is the Wild West right now. But does have a mechanic that is playing out in the flop auction, so that may come up on the 31st if that debt asset runs out. So asset to debt runs out there, and we might see a system event with the flop auction. So cool. That's kind of where we are. Hope you guys enjoyed the comments, and get into our Discord. Links in the video description. $12.50 a month. Strategy Club is $35 a month. A great value. Get on that. And also got a crypto course, right, from beginners to advanced. And that's 15 videos in that series, very high level. And so you're not getting stuck in the weeds. You'll have a very good understanding of crypto. after watching those, and that's only $74.99. So check that out, all in the video description. If you want to get into the real PDI stablecoin, that's PUSD ALGO. I know you guys now have been supporting it for over a year. It does require an oracle, very important, and that is Signum Oracle, probably going to be the principally one used, and that is expected to launch within the next week, a week or two. So that's coming up there as well. Get a 90% bonus on that. Other than that, don't forget to follow, subscribe on all the YouTube and Rumble and on X, and I will see you in the Discord. Take care, everybody. Hope you enjoyed today's show, and bull market is upon us. It is going to be so glorious, and of course, the one thing you have to do is remember to take profits. Don't ride the bull market down the bear market side whenever that does occur. Remember, that's your one job, is to take profits on when it gets the market starts hyperventilating. You guys, that's all you have to do. It's the number one rule there. All right, take care, everybody. Have a great day, and I'll see you in the next show. Bye for now.